What's up, everybody? This is Blue Lightning back, and we're going to be talking about Elementalsabers. I did a deck profile a few years ago about this deck. The major drawback to this deck is two things. They require a constant hand of Elementalsabers in the hand to use for effects. And the other is they just don't have enough support, just like other good archetypes. Let's get right into it. And before you say anything, yes, I know Calamities is banned. So we're gonna go with the Elemental Lords. Now these guys can only be special summoned by having exactly the corresponding attribute. And they each do something. They each have an ability unique to them. Grand Soils, Monster Reborn. Windrose is a Harpy's Feather Duster. Pyrorex does burn damage. Manglacia rips hand. Umbrage does searching like Sangan, and the light one is like a Regeki. Malo. This is the Foolish Burial of the deck. Now all the little guys require you to have an Elementsaber and to pitch one in order to use it. Basically the same thing Fire Fist, same problem Fire Fist had before they got a monster that made it so you didn't have to do it. Elementsabers need the same thing, as well as Elementsabers again needs more support, more spells and traps, and more negation power. But yeah, this guy is the Foolish Burial. Aina is like the Monster Reborn of the deck. So essentially you're playing like 4 Monster Reborns. And that includes Monster Reborn itself. Nalu. This one you can target an Elementalsaber or E-Lord in your grave and add it to your hand. This card, the other thing I forgot to mention, these guys can also change their attribute. That's the gimmick for this deck, is changing the attribute, summon the Elemental Lords. Also, the Elemental Lords, you have to skip your battle phase if they leave field. Manaki, you can add an E-Saber or E-Lord from your deck to your hand, except her. So this is a Searcher. The dark one, he is a Book of Moon. This is the only spell on trap negation. This big guy is the only one that doesn't change attribute, but it does gain effects depending on the element that you pitch for it. You can send 2 other monsters in your hand to the grave to special this card from your hand. And depending on which attribute those 2 have, you get the corresponding effects. Earth and wind can't be destroyed by battle. Fire and water can't be destroyed by card effects. And light and dark, your opponent cannot target with card effects. Here's some just like other choices that'll be good. Now, this guy works during the battle phase. You can put a counter on him, and depending on how many counters, he gets 1 or 2 effects. He can negate, his first effect is like a negate attack. His second, you tribute him and banish all monsters on the field until your opponent's second end phase. So this can really help you if you're trying to keep an Element Saber or an Elemental Lord on the field. You just negate their attack or just banish all the monsters. Goblin Durg, you want to run him at 2 to 3. He gives you another. He gives you a special summon, and he changes to defense after. Nibiru, because you know Nibiru. Kaiju, because you know Kaijus are great. Palace of the Elemental Lords, must have. This, all monsters you control gain attack and defense equal to the number of different attributes in your grave times 200. Once per turn, you can add an E-Saber from your deck to your hand, but skip the battle phase of your next turn, even if this card leaves field. Once per turn, if an E-Saber monster is in your hand or field, would send card or cards from your hand to the grave to activate an effect. So you can Foolish Burial them instead. You can Foolish Burial them from the deck instead. Elemental Training. Your opponent can't target Palace of the Elemental Lords with card effects, and it can't be destroyed by card effects. Once per turn, you can tribute a monster and special one Element Saber monster from your deck with a different original attribute than the one that's on field. You can send this face-up card from your field to the grave to discard your entire hand, then add an Elemental Lord from your grave to your hand equal to the number of cards discarded. I mean, that last effect is probably one of the worst drawbacks on this card. Stand-in. You tribute a monster and target a monster in your opponent's grave with the same original type and attribute and special it. So you get to take a monster from their grave for free. Metaverse. Needlebug Nest to speed up your getting your E-Lords out. I don't really have a lot of mirror forces, so this is the next best thing. Dark Hole, Rhoda, Burial. Extra deck. Calamity. Yes, I know he's banned, but he's really good for this deck. Shogi Rook, which you detach and you target a face-up monster your opponent controls on one set spell or trap you control and destroy them, and any battle damage is halved. Gandaiva. When you special summon when a level 4 or lower monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can destroy that special summon monster. Castel, Arc, Tornado Dragon, because you know, destroying spell and traps are always good. Another good card that can, it's like an Ultimate Providence. Ferocious Flame Swordsman, and 2 Nightmare Monsters. That's it for Elementalsabers. Hit like and subscribe. Catch you on the flip side.